Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the sixth session of World University Summit 2024. I am Professor DEEPAK, an associate professor at IHD at Jindal Global University. The theme for this session is Innovative Initiatives at Universities, Empowering Students to Become Agents of Change. We have in our session four very experienced panelists. First, we have Professor ABIODUN Humphrey Adebayo, who is Vice Chancellor of Covenant University, Nigeria. It's one of the leading universities in Africa, driven by a vision to raise a new generation of leaders. Professor Adebayo is council member and trustee of Association of Commonwealth University, ACU, and is also associated with Association of African Universities. Besides this, he is also a prolific researcher of biochemistry. Welcome, Professor. Professor WENJUAN ZHANG is Professor and Associate Dean for International Collaborations at Jindal Global Law School at Jindal Global University. She is also leading the Center for India-China Studies at our university. She has studied at top universities in China and US and has been visiting scholar at Yale and Columbia Law Schools too. Professor OSAMA Khan is Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics at Aston University, United Kingdom. He has been educated at Independent University Bangladesh, the University of Surrey, and Cambridge University. In the past, he has worked as Vice Provost Education and Pro-Vice Chancellor Academics at the University of Surrey, driving their academic strategy, digital transformation, and he consolidated the student experiences and student services. Welcome, Professor Khan. Finally, we have Professor AKHMAD SODIQ, who is Rector at the Jenderal Soedirman University, Indonesia. He completed his education from Indonesia and Germany and is an experienced academic leader as well as a researcher in the field of animal production and livestock production systems. There is a reason why I'm highlighting the educational backgrounds. For if we look at it, we have people who have on the panel who have experience across Bangladesh, India, China, Germany, US, Nigeria, Indonesia. It's a wide swath that we can cover. And not just we can draw, the panel can draw on their own experiences at their current universities, but also their alma maters, as well as the wide experiences they have had across universities in the leadership position. So hopefully I'll start the session with a brief introduction to the theme, followed by a set of questions to each of the panelists that they will answer based on their experiences. And in the end, we will try to keep some time for audience questions if there are any, followed by closing remarks, and hopefully we'll close the session in time at 3:30 p.m. All right, thank you everyone who has joined in. As Henry Adams had said, a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. A teacher's influence on students' lives is not necessarily visible immediately, but still it can echo through eternity. We have our own experiences. Thus, universities, through its faculty, have the power to shape the world through their students. Never has this been more critical than in today's Bani world, a world which is marked by brittleness, anxiety, non-linearity, and incomprehensibility. A phrase which is kind of replaced by, or which has replaced VUCA world. Imagine our current state. There's climate change, there are rapid technological advancements, including the current developments, very recent developments in artificial intelligence, and global anxieties due to ecological and geopolitical events. All these present challenges that are novel, unprecedented, and over everything, they are immensely complex. Our students will step into this world. As university leaders and teachers, this demands from us a new breed of graduates who are not just skilled professionals in the narrow domains, but they should be agents of change who are ready to tackle such global challenges head on. We have the power to empower students to step beyond textbooks and classrooms. We need to make them active participants in shaping a better future. But how? That's the question. It's not just about memorizing fact, but about igniting their inner change makers, where they can think about the larger system and the world that they are going to create and live in. This session is our chance to explore innovative initiatives that are breaking this mold. It is an opportunity to learn from what has worked at diverse institutions and get inspiration to bring similar changes within our local context. We will discover how universities are creating practical experiential learning opportunities, immersing students in real-world challenges, and equipping them with tools to find solutions that are practical, that actually bring about change. Imagine students collaborating with local communities to address environmental issues, developing innovative social enterprises, or in fact, designing technology solutions for people who cannot afford them right now in a capitalistic market. These aren't just hypothetical scenarios, they are actually happening right now at universities across the globe. And there are several awards, social entrepreneurship courses. There are things which are happening in terms of curriculum pedagogy. Hopefully, we will uncover some of that during the discussion. More and more educational and political leaders need to listen to the stories of change, or these stories, these innovations that are happening, so that they can probably inculcate or include these within their local educational and political context. By fostering an environment where students are active participants, not just passive bystanders, we can cultivate a generation of empowered change makers. This session is an invitation to share experiences, spark ideas, and explore how we can collectively empower our future generations and to leave a lasting positive impact on the world. So let's get to the question. First, we'll go in the sequence, Professor Osama, followed by Professor Adebayo, Professor Wenjuan, and last, Professor SODIQ. Give one example from your university where students are at the forefront of some action that is already having or is likely to have a huge political, huge positive social, environmental, or economic impact on the community. So something which may be in a nascent stage or which is already mature, which is likely to have great impact in future or is already having it. And how did this program start? How has it evolved? And what is your university doing to scale it up? Professor Khan.
Professor MAUN, thank you very much. Thank you, first of all, for having me. I'm delighted to be in this panel with the distinguished other guests who will be speaking here. This is the topic of today's discussion is very close to my heart. Currently, I'm the Deputy Vice Chancellor at Aston University. Let me just tell you a little bit about Aston. It is in Birmingham, in England, which we call Midlands in United Kingdom. And Birmingham is a city which is the second largest after London, but it is a city of minorities. So I myself come from Bangladesh. In fact, right now I am in Bangladesh at my mother's place. And the university is at a city where the minority are the majority. So 78% of the population of Midlands are from minority communities, whether they are, so in a way we call them BAME community, Black, Asian, minority, ethnic individuals like myself. We are a research intense university established in 1892, and 55% of my undergraduate students are from BAME background. Black, Asian, minority, ethnic, which is basically the way we defined in England non-white population. Birmingham has its own glory as well as it has its own challenges. The example that I'm going to give you today, it has neighborhoods where for generations of communities hasn't been to higher education. Those of you know England, you would know that the Industrial Revolution started in Midland. In fact, Birmingham is the city of factories. Lots of manufacturing is to take place. Now, I'm talking about nearly before the Second World War. After Second World War, the whole manufacturing sector in United Kingdom started to shut down. In fact, right now, Britain is the largest knowledge economy, where we do not manufacture anything, we add value, and the manufacturing takes place somewhere else in the world. So complete economic model has changed. Along with that came the social challenge that a large population of Midland citizens have lost their jobs in hundreds and thousands of factories. And I'm talking about this job loss back in Second World War time in 50s and 60s. And the poverty since the 50s and 60s in Midland started to kick in because these manufacturing plant worker has been working on those manufacturing plants for 200, 300 years. So they are generations, their forefathers worked in the same factory. It was a kind of a skill that's being handed down in the community within their family. So once that revolution stopped, once the factories have stopped, the aspiration within this community has stopped as well. Now, I understand that we are having this global summit virtually, but predominantly hosted by Jindal Global University, which is an Indian university. I'm not going to compare the level of poverty between the two countries. Of course, the levels are uncomparable. As an economist, I wouldn't say the poverty that we can see in my home country of Bangladesh or India is probably not comparable. However, in terms of the UK living standard, the poverty and the pockets of poverty I have seen in Birmingham is quite acute. So what we did, we systematically, from every undergraduate program at Aston University, provided students who come from those neighborhoods, who managed to break through the challenges of their poverty and still manage to come to Aston University. We then bring them back to their own community, build aspiration by working with scientific and social projects with school children who are as young as 12 years old. So from the age of 12 until 18, they work on multiple smaller scale projects. These are incubated projects. These projects itself probably doesn't make any impact on the society. But the fact that they're doing projects where they lost hope of going to university, it ignites hope for them to bring to university. And because of that work, which has been going on at Aston University for nearly 15 years, we have this 55% minority coming to Aston University. So another quick stat before I hand it over to you, Professor MAUN. 45% of our Aston University undergraduate students come from a household with an annual income of £25,000 sterling. Now, I do understand, given our international audience and the speakers here, £25,000 sterling well might go long way in Bangladesh, for example, but it doesn't actually go that long way. So the mean tested poverty line we set in Britain is that line, 25,000 per annum family income. So having 45% coming from such poorer family shows that our project of bringing clever students to the schools where neighborhoods don't go to university is creating an impact. So we already have seen that impact, that they get inspired to see their own, from their own neighborhood, going to university, becoming scientists, becoming social scientists and artists and doctors and engineers. It creates aspiration for them then to aspire to go to university. I think I'm going to stop here and hear from other speakers from across the globe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Khan. I think that's like as direct action as you can take, bringing in people who need the change and showing hope to their peers, their compatriots, and saying that okay, if this person can make it, then there is hope for everybody else in the community, and that's a at a psychological level, at a sociological level, that's an amazing intervention. Thank you. We will. I have some questions about that, but probably in the next round we'll take that up. Professor Adebayo, over to you. The same question: which project has your university done with the students, which is having a huge positive social, environmental, or economic impact on the community, and the evolution of this program?
Over to you. Thank you so much, Professor Deepak, and I'd like to first appreciate the privilege given to me to be part of this year's World University Summit and to be with these great panelists, distinguished speakers across the globe. I'm not taking that privilege for granted. And thank you so much for having me here. First, also, let me also share a bit about my university here. My university, it's not as old as Aston University from Professor Sama. The privileged Vice Chancellor of Covenant University, and the university was founded in 2002, October 21st. So we are just barely 21 years of age. And I can tell us that the university has actually made huge impact since its creation, more than 21 years ago, going to 22nd year this year. Our vision is to raise a new generation of leaders who will positively rewrite the ugly narratives of Africa. Africa has had a very bad representation among the Committee of Nations, and that's one of the reasons Covenant University was set up, to see how the battered image of Africa can be rewritten, and through providing qualitative education. And I can let us know here that we are making this impact through a value-added education, life applicable learning that we offer here in Covenant University. One of the positive impacts that Covenant University education has made is on empowerment of our graduates, our students. Now, one way we do this is through entrepreneurship. Now, over the years, you will see thousands of graduates will come out of the university colleges and without viable jobs. A number of them carry their certificates up and down without also making any headway. No white-collar job, no jobs, and year in, year out, they keep churning graduates into the world without any hope. And what Covenant does is to, rebrand our curriculum to inculcate entrepreneurship, not by theory alone, but also ensuring that there are also inbuilt practical aspects into this. And that's what we have done. And they undertake this course from 100 level up to their final year. And we probably have incubation laboratories. We have, vocational studies where they empower our students. And our students are given the opportunities to start, their businesses. They have startups, have here and through our startup laboratory here. And that has made tremendous impact on our graduate, and of course, on the society as a whole. Now, I give you this example, this practical example of one of our, we have many of them, even the industry now come to the university now to recruit students because they have found our graduates as the most employable graduates here in Nigeria. And over the years, we've been winning quite an award. But maybe I take you to one of the very impact that one of our graduates is making. In fact, this one was my student. I recall when he sent a proposal to me, he was in his final year. I was a supervisor. His name is, Uja, who is the founder of Tribe Agri. You can Google it there, you see Tribe Agri there. Now, he had this proposal that he wanted to set up and see how he can empower farmers. But through this, here he has been able to leverage technology to empower smallhold farmers across Africa by linking them to finance, data-driven best practices, and access to local and global markets for their commodities. And all of this is to ensure food security for all. And through this, I think as at the last time I know, they have been able to empower. This is spread across, all states in Nigeria, and a small town in Kaduna State now to much more than 500 smallholder farmers across. And they are producing over 1.5 million, metrics of grains have been produced and traded. Over 500,000 farmers have been onboarded into this program, and over 400,000 hectares of land had been cultivated, and they have stored over grains of over 225, thousand metric tons of grains have been stored, and with over 9,000 jobs created by just, imbibing this entrepreneurship education alone. This is one out of many of these that they have empowered, and thereby empowering all of that. The name of that, again, you can Google it later on, Tribe Agri, and that's really making waves. And we have quite a lot of them in other global industries like softcom, soft engineering. Some of them are in the entertainment industry, so a number of them through entrepreneurship, and they no longer look for jobs. Jobs come to look for them. I've often had, conglomerates here in Nigeria and other African countries asked to employ our graduates to make them ready by this entrepreneurship. And let me also mention here that our curriculum is what is currently being used by the National Universities Commission, a regulatory body that regulates Nigerian university system here in the country. So let me stop here and also hear the stories of others. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Adebayo. That's an inspirational story. In fact, making an impact in lives of farmers who it's always complex within say African context, within Indian context. One of the challenges that I closely follow, because my whole undergraduate was in dairy technology, and I closely follow the agriculture sector. The whole idea of aggregating or bringing farmers together, that's a very operationally complex thing. And if your students have done that in terms of actually executing that thing, that's an amazing success, I would say. Thank you. I'll come back to that. Professor Wenjuan Zhang.
Yeah, I think that the previous two speakers talk about this kind of innovation or aspire student to tackle social challenges from the leader's perspective as a university. So for me, I want to talk about my personal story and as a law school faculty. When I studied at the law school in China, whenever I heard the news about unfairness, injustice, I feel very angry, but it seems I'm short of the skills to really face the problem and solve the problem. So I feel I want to, when I hear more and more this kind of news, I feel depressed. But after my graduation, when I joined the NGO, a public interest law firm, so I try to help the disadvantaged people at the front. Even though the reality is more challenging, but I don't feel so depressed because I have been empowered to solve this problem. So when I look back, the legal education, I feel lawyers, the law school has trained lawyers as a wise litigator, but not a comprehensive problem solver. So that's what I have tried to bring to my students. And also I have tried to work with the different law schools, either in China or in India. Try to for example, I have a course called Lawyering for Change, and it's practice. So I usually ask my students to develop a project to really, to pick up a problem they can handle, they can manage, they really understand the deep root cause of the issue. So for example, some of my students usually propose a very big project idea, like honor killing, bonded labor. I said, how much you understand like why this happened? How much data, empirical information you have. And then if they find it's a little bit far from them, and then I try to guide them to pick up, to further narrow down the issue or pick up another issue which they have more information. Some of the students give me a very inspiring project. They even work with different kind of financial support. They have raised funding, they work with big NGOs, and they also work with the government. Their project is very kind of implementable, and also they feel exciting because they understand the issue through their own investigation. So I think that's part of the vision of GGU to work with the community to make the community feel is kind of a very proud and a meaningful issue to have a university. So I think from my perspective, like, so for the lawyers, the law schools education, so we should think a bit more about not just a problem as a wise litigator, not just a problem reactor, but should be a problem solver. So I just stop here. Maybe in the so follow-up questions I can add more.
Thank you, Professor Zhang. I think that's a wonderful thought about that. You just don't solve problems, or you should not be trained just to solve problems in the court premises, in the courtroom, but you should look at broader societal problems, and as a lawyer or as an individual student, what you can contribute, and that gives a wider perspective than just the narrow lenses of your discipline. And that's a huge capability if we can develop in our students. Thank you. Professor SODIQ, over to you. The same question.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor DEEPAK. First of all, I would like to say thank you very much for my opportunity to share in this forum concerning the empowering student to become agent of change. I would like to inform that Jenderal Soedirman University is a public university located in Central Java, one of province in Indonesia, exactly in southwest of Central Java. No, we are 60 years old. I think it's not so old university. We have a 97 study program with the total of students 26,000 students, and we already have the 120 alumni. Because of the location, my university in the village, my vision focus on sustainable rural development and local wisdom. Universities are required to be able to produce graduated who have higher rank competency. But nowadays, we know that along with the increasing agile change and development in digital technology, the ability to use academic technique will not be enough. So adaptive student ability are needed, not only soft skill, but also human skill. So in order to prepare the student to face the ever-changing social, culture, and also technology landscape, the competence must be aligned in the need of the times. This assignment is not only with the world of industry and work, but also with the rapidly changes in the future. So Jenderal Soedirman University are required to design and implement innovation learning process so that students can achieve learning outcome covering aspect of attitudes, knowledge, and also skill, optimized and relevance aspect. So at the moment we have the program we call in Bahasa Indonesia Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka, is in English Freedom of Learning Independent Campus. It's main experiential learning program. This program is one of the flagship policy of the Ministry of Education, Culture and Research Technology. One of this program is the right to study for students for 3 semesters outside in the outset of the study program. So we have give the student to study outside of the university and also outside of the study program. This program addressed to students as competency to support higher order thinking skill, including critical thinking and problem solving, creativity and innovation, communication, collaboration, and also computation logic. This policy is designed to empower the students, making them an integral part of the educational process. It is a form of learning in university that is autonomous and flexibility, creating a learning culture that is innovative, not restrictive, and in accordance with the students' need. We have the H form, I mean the type in implementation. We call the first one is a student exchange with the local and also exchange with abroad university. And the number 2 is intensive internship in industry, also in NGO, government agency, and also in micro small scale project. So another term is teaching assistant, which student sent to the education unit. Another program is research and project, including join in research project. Another thing is humanitarian project. Also, we have the entrepreneurial activity, like already Prof. ABIODUN. We have also a project concerning the entrepreneur. So we have also, I think this is special. We call the community services. We call KKN. We have also in the regional, national, and also international community service. This program was launched in 2020, and among the wide variety to choose from this program, 4 programs are very popular. The first intensive and certified independent study, independent student action, and Indonesia international student mobility, and also the campus teaching.
Professor SODIQ.
Sorry,
take a minute to conclude, maybe.
Okay, in the future, we face challenge and win. We can no longer competitive, but cooperate, and share more. Hopefully, to the initiative and concrete manifestation of our effort to prepare a better young generation to create a better future. I think, thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor SODIQ. I think one of the common themes that is running through all the answers is the local context where the university is located. Professor SODIQ said it's a rural university. Professor ADEBAYO, students are focused on the problems of Nigeria and Africa. Professor Khan, the university picks up things from, because it is situated in Birmingham. If it was situated elsewhere, it would have been a different kind of engagement, different kind of university. And as Professor ZHANG said, that pick up the issues which are actually relevant socially in those spaces. Now, if I may ask this thing, all these examples are mostly about our students who are doing things within the university for the community, getting out, but within single institution. But a lot of programs, like entrepreneurship is a common theme which is running across universities, and sometimes students are working on problems, say within, as I said, Professor ADEBAYO, the African context of agriculture and the small land holdings or the access to market. That same problem exists in India. Now, if we have to think about, say inter-university collaborations, it's operationally very difficult, and sometimes it is nightmarish actually to collaborate with people from different institutions because of different bureaucracies, different political systems, different resource constraints. Yet, given the kind of challenges that we are talking about, probably collaboration across universities is need of the hour. Not just university to university, even within student projects, probably those things can happen. So how can students across universities collaborate with each other at the national level and also at the global level to solve the most significant problems of our countries and the world as a whole? Are there certain examples where your university has collaborated, your students have collaborated with people from other universities within your country or outside the country, and then that has led to kind of maybe a social entrepreneurial venture or some kind of community engagement which led to a greater impact? Professor OSAMA Khan, maybe let's start with you. Okay, Professor OSAMA is facing issue with the mic. Professor ADEBAYO, in the meantime, probably go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much, DEEPAK, for this. I must say here that there is no single university that has everything on its own. Every university will need to depend on another, whether vertical collaboration or horizontal collaboration. By vertical collaboration, what I'm saying here is maybe within university to university could intercollaboration. Then, horizontal could be within the university, outside the university, outside the state of the university, and within the state of the university, where the location of the university is cited. Vertical means, international collaboration and all of that. Between collaboration between the student, the faculty, and it's an ongoing thing. And no institution can survive without inter-collaboration. For us at Covenant University, we have several collaborations with our students, including our alumni. Now, recently, what I did some years ago when some few years ago when I became a vice chancellor, is to see how we can begin to bring in our alumni. We have a program in the university that we call Town and Gown. Town and Gown simply means, bringing the industry to the university campus to see how we can leverage on that kind of level of collaboration. And so we do that across the department every year in the university, in Covenant University, every semester rather. Every department is expected to host at least an industry partner within the university, within the department, where they come to share with the student their experiences, where they come to share with the students what they are actually going through in the industries, and how the students can also connect with the industry. And by so doing, that has fostered university inter-industry collaboration here. And a lot of them get hooked up for their internship program. Some equally secure jobs by actually looking at that. And that is one way. But recently I said, no, can we do it differently? Can we begin to look at our alumni? Currently, we have over 24,000 alumni for the past 21 years that we have been in existence as a university. So what we did is to begin to bring our alumni back, to begin to feature them on this program. And because they have passed through the system, so now they are in the industry, they have, a lot of them are entrepreneurship, a lot of them are into government, a lot of them. So we bring them to come and share their experiences with them. And through that has fostered that kind of collaboration that we desire as a university. Another level of collaboration that we have equally established here that has also fostered and strengthened our curriculum and strengthened our examination processes is to leverage on the industry also. Now, at the postgraduate level of Covenant University, we have been able to establish we have entrenched it as a policy, where we now feature industry partners, partner as part of the ongoing examination for a PhD candidate. They are there during the proposal defense of the candidate. They are there during the post-feed presentation, and they are there during the final stage, that is the viva stage, the defense stage of the thesis. And so what does that mean? It means that, for instance, if I am, as a biochemist, for instance, I'm a professor of biochemistry. I'm into medicinal plants. So what we do is to see how we can get an industry that, that deals on traditional drug, for instance, that convert traditional drug into local medicine here. So we bring them to be part of the thesis, to be part of the examination process. They are there so that when the candidate is also making projection to say that this is the work I'm going to do, the industry partners say, oh, can you look at it this way? This is what is actually happening in the industry. And through that, it opens our eyes. Before now, there have been a gap, a very wide gap between the industry and the academia. I think through this initiative, that has equally helped to correct that, and that has equally fostered collaboration with us. So we do that, and at the end of the day, a lot of things came, it has fostered, apart from collaboration, a lot of network for the students has equally been established, a lot of, other partnerships, some even secured jobs by doing that, some secure a lot of openings, and quite a lot of things have been achieved through this wonderful initiative. So let me also pause so that we can also hear from other panel members.
Sure, thank you, Professor Adebayo. I think that industry collaboration and bringing in alumni, it's a very, very powerful thing that all universities need to do. They are realizing, especially the alumni part. Most universities, it's a focus area for several, including our university. Professor WENJUAN ZHANG, over to you.
Yeah,
About
so
collaboration across institutions, especially if you have examples of university collaboration with students from other universities.
Yeah, this is what I want to share. I think Professor Adebayo shared about the collaboration between university and industry. I want to share cross-cultural collaborations. So as the director of the Center for India-China Studies, actually, I try to foster the collaboration between the Chinese students and Indian students. The two countries share so many similarities. I want the youth, to really work on the similar problem, but to understand the difference of a culture, political freedom, political framework, and other things, how that impact the problem solving. So our first initiative is about air pollution documentary in Beijing and Delhi. So our students fly to Beijing and to work with the student there to document the air pollution there in Beijing. And then the Peking University students also fly to Delhi and working with our students to visit kind of a green tribunal and as different stakeholders to let them understand maybe the same air pollution, but the tackle the problems, the solution would be a little bit different or even be different in a serious way. So the documentary is not that professionally developed, but I'm pretty proud of the project because the students, they have developed a very good kind of understanding and friendship. And some students even, I think 1 year ago when I at Harvard, so I met a student who used to be the project. He still have a strong kind of a passion for India. So that's one of the initiative. Actually, I'm thinking another initiative is try to bring students from India, China, and America, the United States, I mean. So like still work on sustainability issue. I'm thinking like now it's a planning stage, like 5 students from China, 5 students from India, 5 from the United States law school. So let them sit together and to brainstorm of the issue on sustainability, which they can agree, like all relevant in the 3 societies, and also let them brainstorm like how to identify the problem and how to analyze the problem and what kind of data or empirical information they need to collect and how they develop the solution and how the solution through monitor solution to develop their involved learning. I think today's world is so narrowly minded and also very confrontational. You mean this is very kind of worrisome. So our young generation should be trained or should be guided, like to be collaborative, to care about different stakeholders, kind of interests, but also be capable of producing some solutions effectively, making the progress. I think that's what we universities, the responsibility to kind of guide our students or young generation to face the world. So that's why I want to bring the students from these three, like India, China, and the US, maybe future from Africa even. So we try to have such kind of program to let the students and even the same issue in different society, the approach, the strategy might be different because culturally, politically, administratively have been shaped by their path, the path dependence. But they need to understand why they tackle in this way, why we tackle it this way. So based on the real understanding, constructive and collaborative mindset, so they will understand why the world is different, but we can still work together. So that's, I will stop here to hear more.
Just one clarificatory question: was this a one-time project, or do you do it like every year?
So we are thinking about to be a kind of a long-term project, like every year. So with a different batch of students. And we even think ambitiously, like bring like a venture capital or something to let the student, once they produce this project, some kind of even a foundation or whatever can give them some, fund donation, let them let them to develop the project in the real world, not just so. For the university level is to help them to develop the project to be applicable, but we also want to bring, kind of foundations or even venture capital to make them in the real world. So then we will develop the bank, the new ideas, new projects, and to different batches. So it's still at the planning stage. Hopefully, it can be implemented. And also through this kind of conference, we want to call support, financial support, idea support, university support. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Professor Zhang. Professor Osama has dropped out from the call. Maybe there's some network issue. Professor SODIQ, over to you. Maybe 2-3 minutes to elaborate on the issue, the question. Professor Khan is joining again, but over to you, Professor SODIQ.
Okay, we have a lot of collaboration, including from the collaboration with another university, from the local, national, and also with outside. Another collaboration with the industries. It is very important. We have the program and experience that we send my student to doing work in industry. So another thing, the stakeholder, for example, expert from the industry coming to university, it is very important to update the information regarding the updating technology, science, and also the application for the new technology. The other one, because of in our university, mostly in agriculture aspect, agriculture commodity, so we have a lot of collaboration with the industry regarding the animal science, agriculture, fishery. The program with the industry at the moment, we have the collaboration with Hokkaido industry in Japan. We send a lot of students there, and after that, after finish the internship, they back to our university and then finish, become alumni, and apply again to that company. The aspect in collaboration, the first is designing in the curriculum. It is very important because in the learning study, the curriculum is very important. And the second is collaboration in education process. So we invite the expertise from the industry, become a lecturer in academic in some study program. And the last one, we also have the collaboration for the recruitment of the alumni. When already finished from our university, they get job from the industry. I think that's it.
Thank you, Professor SODIQ. Professor Khan.
very proudly could say that Aston University in Great Britain started a one-year placement program. So the one-year placement program as core part of curriculum in a three-year undergraduate is something that started at Aston University. So we are very proud of that heritage. We have nearly 180 undergraduate program in social science, literature, language, humanities, engineering, physical science, and health. We have medical school, pharmaceutical schools, dentistry. And 80% of our undergraduate program has a compulsory placement. I think one of the points that I would like to share with our participant in this conference is it's important to do things at scale. What promise could you make to your student that if they come to your university, whether the propensity for them to have industry exposure or social problem challenge exposure would be in pockets, or is it guaranteed? Now, I can proudly say, as the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Aston, if you come to 80% of my programs, you will be placed in a professional placement for a year, a whole year. 70% of our undergraduate students goes to a whole year placement. So, Professor MAUN, if you remember the stats I shared with you before, where 45% of our students come from socially deprived background. In terms of graduate outcome, measured by how many of our graduates gets to graduate job, we are 18th in the country, including all the Russell Group University, Oxford, Cambridge, name it. So there are 24 elite institutions in Britain. We are not part of it, but we outperform half of those elite institutions in terms of graduate outcome. The reason we managed to do that because we have 8,000 industries, small, medium size, all the way to enlisted top 100 companies in FTSE who are partnered to us. It's actually not a mean feat when we have 14,000 undergraduate students at any single point in time, 70% of them getting a one-year placement. It's a mammoth task, and I'm sure my colleagues in the panel will understand the magnitude of task to place that. And we have a award-winning team. We have a team of 60 individuals whose full-time job is to place our students and forge this industry partnership. And it's not just industry partnership with the commercial sector, whether it's a small company or a large company. It is also in the partnership with the third sector as well as the government sector. So I just wanted to highlight that as well, that a significant partnership. In fact, we are quite groundbreaking in terms of the partnership that we forge with our community and beyond. Thank you.
Wow, that's really a big number. 14,000 students, and out of which 70-80% get placed. Simply in terms of operations management, managing that many interviews throughout the year, that's a huge task. And to do that on a regular basis, consistently, year after year, it's really a commendable job that your team is doing. All right, so we have just 5 minutes left. We have a question from the audience, so let's take that. Maybe Professor Adebayo, you can take this question. Should we make social entrepreneurship a compulsory project in UG and PG courses, so undergraduate and master's courses, as a small group activity? Will it help if we have mandatory social entrepreneurship courses?
Yeah, thank you so much, Deepak. Well, for me, I would say yes, we should make it very compulsory, because that's the model we are running here in Covenant University. You know, entrepreneurship is evolving on day by day. And by it's high time we all move into catching up with, you know, moving with the pace at which it is also evolving. For instance, we now have, you know, we are now in the post-pandemic era where IT has become the order of the day. I'm sure before the pandemic, maybe if you were going to have this World University Summit, you usually gather people, you spend quite a lot of money and all of that. But now the event is going on. in the comfort of your room, in the comfort of your offices, you can do that and you can connect to wider audience. But so also is entrepreneurship. We need to be creative. We are all, because the world today is in a big mess. Inflation has catch up with a lot of things. There are no jobs here and there. It is nice we begin to create entrepreneurs. We begin to, educate them. We begin to have more persons that will come into the entrepreneurial scene. Sometimes we should not just say, oh, I'm an academic, so I do not fit into any. No. Who says you cannot have your entrepreneurship, business or whatever you are doing and bring it into your academic also? It's a plus, not a minus. Who says you cannot run your own private business at the same time, or your consultancy job at the same time with your role, whatever role you do? We all have 24 hours in a day. And if you're going to give 8 hours a day to your regular jobs, what happened to these 16 hours? Do you sleep all these? You sleep for 16 hours a day? No, I think we should inculcate social entrepreneurship into our, not just undergraduate curriculum, even in our postgraduate curriculum, as we also run here at Covenant University. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Adebayo. We are almost at the fag end of the session. So it was a very interesting discussion, wide examples from personal experiences, from institutional experiences, and a lot is happening on the ground. If I can draw on the common theme, one is it depends on where your university is. The local context matters a lot, the kind of problems that your students will work on, or as an institution you choose to work on. That's one. The second part is definitely across, it is like industry, collaboration with the industry, whether it is to solve the industry problems, whether it is for the student placement to give them exposure of the real world, or whether it is to solve, say, social problems, as Professor Zhang's case said, that although it is a social problem, but then industry can contribute to that solution also. And as we have, in fact, the wonderful part about all the discussions is the flexibility that our curriculums right now are giving to the students, curriculums and program structures. Say Professor SODIQ's university giving whole 3 semesters outside the university, which was unthinkable probably a few years back, where you have to spend all your years, all your semesters inside the university. Outside, you just go maybe for a summer internship or something like that. So that's a huge change. Probably over time, as this World University Summit or other places where we come to know about these stories, probably our universities can collaborate, create more programs around students working on similar problems across different country contexts, coming together and learning from each other, collaborating. Maybe that's a possibility, that along with industry collaboration, cross-country collaborations like Professor Zhang is doing, that kind of stuff will become common, and that will lead to better solutions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Professor Zhang, Professor SODIQ, Professor Adebayo, and Professor Khan for your time and for your wonderful, wonderful insights into the topic. And thank you to the audience for joining in. Thank you.
Thank you so
Goodbye.
much. Bye.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.